my mom said from the time that I was little bitty, from the time that I was a toddler, that I wanted to be a police officer. And I want to be a police officer. And so everywhere that I went, she said that I wanted to, wear a gun belt or pick something up that had a gun. And of course, we grew up like most people back those days did, where that you had to find things to do as kids.
Yeah.
You went outside, you actually played. You got in the dirt, you got dirty. You didn't have cell phones, you didn't have all this stuff. I remember having an Atari, but all these games and stuff that we have, these kids that have nowadays, that was not available to us as kids back then. And I'm very thankful that it wasn't, because we learned a lot. But I remember playing cops and robbers, those type of things. I always wanted to be the good guy. I wanted to be the guy that helped somebody take a bad guy off the street. And I remember as kids, as playing cops and robbers, you'd tell them to put their hands behind their back, and you'd make believe that you'd put handcuffs on them and take somebody over here and lock them in jail. Then you'd go get somebody else. And so I grew up just in that kind of mindset of wanting to help individuals that were in need, help get the criminal element out of society. And so I think that a lot of times, as you see these law enforcement officers that's out here in today's time, it's a calling to us instead of something that we just do.
Yeah.
We grew up wanting to do it. We grew up wanting to help somebody, and God's called us to do that. I believe so.
Yeah.
I really do. And as I got older, I tell this story. I was about 20 years old one time, and my captain, he gets on to me a lot. He said, one time, I hope he was 20 years old one time, but I was about 20 years old, and I was, my little hometown that I was living in at the time, I saw an officer in an altercation with a gentleman at a service station. And being, just out of my teenagehood, in my early 20s, I saw this officer in need, and whenever I pulled over and to help this guy, he was fighting just fiercely with this guy. This guy was swinging on him and hitting at him, and I could see the officer's radio over there on the ground. I could see the handcuffs laying there, and I said, "Hey, can I help you?" I pulled up there to get in the middle of it, to get in the fight with this officer, even though I was not in law enforcement at the time. And so he's like, "Yeah, get my cuffs and help me get this guy." So it's one of those things where this guy's fighting us and we're fighting him. And I get him his cuffs, and I help him put those cuffs on there, and I think that just kind of even sparked the drive that I always had in me more, because I was able to help that officer at that time. And so it wasn't long after that, the city actually gave me a letter of accommodation for helping this officer out and taking this guy into custody. And then October, whenever I turned 21, I turned my application in as a police officer to that town, to that city, and they hired me as a police officer, and that was in 1997, and I've been at it since 1997, and it's been a great run. I started in law enforcement in North Mississippi, and now I'm Chief Deputy for Jones County Sheriff's Department. My wife and I moved to Hattiesburg in 2011. Sheriff Hodge brought me on as his Chief Deputy in 2013, and so it's just been a blessing for me and my family here in Jones County, as well as my home up north as well. Okay. Jerry, I think that the Jones County Sheriff's Department, they strive to have the support of the community. We have numerous different free public safety classes we do over at our training center to get the community engaged of what law enforcement really is. We want them to understand us. We want to partnership with them. Our churches, our schools, our businesses. We go and we speak at a lot of civic events. Our neighborhood watch programs. We're active in those type of areas where that we try to get the sheriff's office and partnerships where that they understand us and we understand them. We need each other more in today's time than we ever have before. As we was just discussing, social media is trying to divide us. Everything is, somebody has an opinion about everything, and they really try to to voice it. And now it's so easy to take and tear down someone with the equipment that we've got now. And even with the camera footage and stuff now and video, you can do whatever you want to with it to make me look bad, or make something out of something that really not what it is.
Yeah,
you know,
and you always see the
twist
percentage.
And turn. Yeah,
you see the percentage is always in the negative.
Always. And so, you know, I think that we need to partner better with law enforcement in our communities. You know, that's what I tell somebody is that, you know, we're human beings. We're not programmed as robots to be able to just walk around and you tell me what to do and I do it like a robot. We're human beings.
Yeah.
We love, we have compassion, we care. We wouldn't be out here doing the things that we do, putting our life on the line every day to try to help a stranger that we never even know. I mean, we get put down all the time, and I guarantee you, out of the 100 people or 80-something people now that work at this department, any one of them would go out there and put their life on the line, getting shot at or anything else, for somebody that they don't even know. I mean, that's what we do. I mean, we see them rush into these houses to save kids, and we want the community to know that we're there for them, as well as we need to feel that the community is there for us. And there again, the Southern hospitality is showed a lot of times to these law enforcement agencies. I come in this morning and there's just boxes and boxes of donuts down there on the patrol table. People bring cookies from the community. Churches prepare food for us all the time. They invite us out to events to be a part of. If the school's doing like a drug awareness program, they invite us out. There's all types of things in the communities that go on all the time here in Jones County, which I think makes it a very, very special place, because they try to combat the drug problem. You know, they try to work with us. What can we do to teach our kids younger? Because as they grow up, we don't want them to see us arresting mom and daddy as in a bad light of every time that we go in the house. If that cycle's not broken, they don't know anything different. You know, so they think we're bad. They think that, oh, this guy's just coming to take mom and daddy to jail. Well, if he took mom and daddy to jail, he'll take me to jail. Cops are bad.
Yeah.
You know, I can't stand being out in a restaurant or being out in society and hearing a parent tell their child, if you don't be good, I'm going to get that cop to come take you to jail. Or he's going to get you. I can't stand it. I'll go over. I normally carry like a pocket full of stickers, and I'll carry over to these little fellows or little girls and give them, you know, a big hug and a love and say, hey, I'm here for you, you know. And like I told you, you know, my family means to me what yours means to you. We need to partner in today's time instead of dividing. I mean, we make mistakes.
Yeah.
Who don't make mistakes?
We all do.
We all make mistakes. And so just because we don't agree on something don't make me a bad person, though. It don't make you a bad person. I have my ways of doing things. You have your ways of doing things. But communicating and understanding each other is the biggest problem I see in today's time, is that people don't want to communicate. People want to just give their opinion. You're not going to listen to me anyway, so I'm not going to tell you, you know. And then you go on, you're mad, and you put your perception of law enforcement out there, and then the next person comes along, well, they don't want to listen to nothing. I think we've gotten in today's time where we can't work our problems out. I mean, that's just like with our relationships with your spouses or you know, these families. You get mad at each other. You have arguments in your home. Just because you have arguments and stuff in your home, do you split your family up?
Yeah.
Well, that's the same way with law enforcement in communities in today's time. Just because you have differences of how that you do things shouldn't keep you apart. You still need each other.
Yeah.
You still need to work through your problems to get to where that you're going to make your community better. And the only way that we make our communities better if we're partnering together. Our churches, they're a vital, vital role in today's time, in my opinion, for our school kids, for, you know, our families, law enforcement. You know, a lot of departments have started, you know, adopt a cop thing where the churches come out and they adopt a specific cop and they pray for him on a regular basis. Those are the kind of things that we did here at Jones County.
Mm-hmm.
We have a training center that is under the supervision of a lady that just does a phenomenal job of bringing in all types of church workshops, public self-defense classes, ride-alongs. We do all those type of programs here at Jones County, ride-along programs and those type of things. I commend you seriously for trying to take a stand and make something happen, even if it's just one person. Even if it's one person that sees this video that says, "Hey, all law enforcement's not bad. I need to go down to my local police station or my local sheriff and find out about them." I'd love to, go do a ride-along. We've encouraged our board of supervisors, our community. You can do two ride-alongs if you pass the background. Now, you can't be a convicted felon or something. But we do background checks, but after you pass that background check, you could come and do a ride-along and see exactly what these men and women are facing out here on a day-to-day basis.
And that's another thing that made me really wanna make this video is I work in North Dakota, so I'm not home a lot.
Right.
And I realize now that this is a passion of mine and I like doing it.
Sure.
But
how many thousands of people are you fixing to be able to reach whenever you do a video like that?
And that's another thing that I've learned that, I've tried my best to be as positive as I can. Anytime somebody asks me about how can they get on to the oil field, I'll try and give them some information. Or if somebody asks me something about Mississippi, I'll try and give them some positive information because they can go find the negative information anytime.
Sure, yeah. And we can make anything negative. That's the thing about if we don't want to have our mind changed about something, if we don't want to have our minds changed about something, we're going to continue to see the negative. Or if you can't be open-minded and be flexible in a conversation, it's always going to be one-sided. It's going to be your side.
Yeah.
But you got to be open-minded in order to change things, in order to take and have that open mind about law enforcement or about your community. If you're just headstrong and you're not going to change your thought process, then how's it ever going to change?
And you make a great point, and this is something that I've learned. I've learned to listen to people.
Sure.
Because you'd be surprised. Because even one of my coworkers, I hadn't seen him in a while, and he was like, "Hey, Jerry," and he started telling me about what was going on with the guys on his crew.
Yeah.
And it just reinforced that. You'd be surprised how far a person can get just by listening to somebody. And
sure.
I'm telling you, listening to somebody is a powerful thing when you can just hold a conversation with somebody and just have them listen to you.
I'll make it as simple as what I can make it. You remember, and you, me, or nobody probably can remember. But as a toddler, I watched children a lot. They watch. Other night, it was this little boy. He sits beside us at a football game. We had season ticket seats, and the little family sits right beside us. And little boy, every football game, whenever we stand to do the Pledge of Allegiance, there's another elderly gentleman that was a veteran that sits beside us. But whenever whenever they get ready to say they sing the Star Spangled Banner and stuff, we all stand, salute, put our hand over to, our hearts. Well, this gentleman salutes. Well, that little boy went from putting his hand over his heart. The other night I was sitting there watching him, and he's 2 or 3 years old. Puts his hand over his heart. He turns around and he sees that veteran saluting. He brings that hand up there, just like that, looking at that man, and he salutes that flag. Those are the kind of things that we grew up doing, is watching people as children. And if as simple as a child can take and watch and learn and listen, how did we learn as children growing up? We listened. A lot of times whenever mom and dads were talking and older brothers and sisters was doing things, how did we learn? We listened. We don't do enough of listening in today's time. We always want to put our 2 cents worth in. Give our 2 cents. Tell you how you're not doing it right or how you should be doing it. But yet we won't listen ourselves.